Hello guys, Yusaku here, and today we're going to be talking about the Yugioh Vrains episode 19 summary and cast list, which reads as follows. The incident buried in the darkness. Akira skillfully uses his Tin Dangle deck to fight against Playmaker. Playmaker also fights back with his Psy versus. As their fierce battle rages on, Akira starts talking about the incident 10 years ago. At last, Yusaku's past is finally unveiled. Our cast is then Yusaku/Playmaker, AI, Kusanagi, Aoi, Emma, Akira, Kitamura, and then extras. Now, so based off what we've got in a little bit of summary here, it immediately comes across to me that the incident buried in darkness is basically Yusaku's past. This also shows us that I don't think we're going to be getting much of anything on what actually happened to him 10 years ago in episode 18. This is definitely going to be a two-part episode duel, given how our 18 summary and where we left off in 17 implies the duel is going to start there. Then it'll go in here. I wonder if it's Yusaku pins him into a corner, or Akira feels he takes the lead, or something along those lines. Either way, it sounds like Akira does start to talk, and he does clearly seem to have an understanding of what happened 10 years ago if he's going to be the one talking about it, and then Yusaku's past is unveiled. So with that being the case, I think we're going to have a much clearer idea of what's going on. Either that, or if it's like the rest of the show, we're going to get more information that basically just spawns 10 more questions than it answered. So, I don't know. I'm super excited to see where it goes, because I think we'll at least have some of our older questions answered, even if new ones do arise. And part of me definitely does think new ones do arise. I really like that about Vrains. As I've said many times, I feel like it can go in any direction. Now, it says in the beginning of the summary, Akira skillfully uses his Tin Dangle deck. Now, as a casual player of the TCG, I was like, wait, in all the hype and speculation and crap I've heard coming from the OCG, which, if any of you don't know, they get their cards months before we do, released over there, and then we eventually get them in the TCG over here. So there's usually a lot of hype generated about what's doing well in the OCG before it gets released in the TCG. And I was like, wait a second, I've never even heard of Tin Dangle. So I did a Google search on it, and there is nothing right now. Like, there's literally nothing that I could find in images, videos, or anything else other than this little sentence in the article right here. So it almost makes me wonder if this is going to be a sort of like anime exclusive archetype. For example, like if you've seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, the season 4, what's his face, the Australian guy, the deck he used that were the armor cards, they were exclusive to the anime. Like, they've never really been released in the TCG. So maybe Akira's using something similar, or maybe it's just going to get released much later, given how, you know, we've already seen Emma in action, and we haven't gotten Circuit Break over here. Or maybe it's going to be a TCG exclusive archetype, or something like that. I guess my point on Emma isn't super relevant, since the set that her Altergeist got released in did get released in Japan already, I think. Either that or it's soon to be released. So with all that being understood, I'm curious to see these cards in action. As someone who plays the card game, just to see something that we don't actually have is weird. In some ways it's kind of frustrating, because then if you see something that fits your playstyle or that's really intriguing, then realizing, oh, well, yeah, I could go and play Playmaker's cards in real life, but why can't I play Akira's? I don't know. It'll be exciting to see them in action. I do hope we eventually see them get released. I'm curious what their playstyle is going to be, because a lot of times a character's deck itself kind of reflects them as a person. Like, Yusaku has a lot of chain combos. It's very calculated, very focused, just like all of his moves are. Aoi seems to be able to almost playfully mess with people, because she puts on this super bright, toying type of personality that everyone can easily get along with, and then she just kind of tears you down from there, which kind of works with the way most people feel when they're playing a chain burn deck. It's, oh, I'm gonna have a fun game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, you're playing chain burn, or at least that's kind of a general consensus. I try not to mind it too much, because I like seeing a variety of decks when I'm playing the game, and if I complain about there not being enough variety and then also complain about chain burn, I'm kind of being a hypocrite. But that's going too off into the TCG spectrum. So back to this, Akira's personality so far has been very protective of Aoi. So part of me really wonders if he's going to be playing more of like a defensive, straightforward type of strategy. So that's possible, I guess. I don't know. That's just a loose prediction. I don't have a lot to go off of there. The other thing is, we don't really have a clear indication of who's taking a lead in this duel as of here. A lot of times in the past, it's kind of been like, as Akira takes the lead, Yusaku manages to pull, like, a card of destiny, or risks everything on a single draw, or pulls into the data storm, or something along those lines. We don't have any of that here, and so this isn't written like a lot of our earlier summaries were, so it's hard to tell. I'm beginning to think this episode, or this duel, may last for 3 episodes at least. Or it could, for all we know, be like the revolver duel, only without switching, given that there was a brief clip at the end of episode 17 that showed the master duel board, so we know for sure this is a master duel. Either way, it seems like it's going to be carried out for a while. It seems like there's going to be a lot of story weaved into this duel. I'm beginning to wonder if it's going to be duel episode 17, or 18, and then episode 19, we get a little bit of duel, maybe like 3 to 5 minutes, a ton of flashback in the middle, and then like 3 to 5 minutes back into the duel at the end, because that's something that Yu-Gi-Oh's definitely done in the past. I can't think of a specific example off the top of my head, but I know for sure we've had duels where it's like interjected with these huge chunks of plot in the middle that have been like flashbacks or recounting of things and just those types of things. Even if it is just them talking a lot, Akira and Playmaker, I'll take that. And I'm really beginning to be curious, like, what Emma and Aoi are exactly doing. We don't have any of that in the summary. I mean, what are they going to do in this case? And where's Aoi going to stand if Playmaker and her brother are on opposite sides? Is she going to take the side of the person who saved her or her brother? Because she does seem to care a ton about her brother's opinions. That's one of her primary motivations, is to prove herself to him. But at the same time, if she feels morally that she sides with Playmaker, that's a really tough position to be in, and is a fairly common type of plot element to throw into shows, so it wouldn't be surprise me necessarily if they go that direction, just because it gives Aoi a continued, like, plot type of element to run off that intrigues people a lot of times, but there's just way too many things to, like, try and predict to force that to work right now. There are so many ways this could go. I'm still incredibly curious as to why Akira's doing all of this. I've listed numerous reasons in my other videos, so I won't go into them too much, but basically my primary theory is in some way, shape, or form, he feels he's either protecting Aoi, and by doing so, he's protecting his job so he can protect her and provide for her in doing this, or he's protecting Playmaker because he fears what happens. Now, another theory that came to me throughout the week is maybe the memories somehow trigger something within Ignis that turn Ignis evil. It is a fairly popular / relevant fan theory at this point that in some way, shape, or form Ignis will come out to be an antagonist. So you gotta figure, if Playmaker gets a hold of the information from 10 years ago, Ignis is probably going to see it, given how he's always with Yusaku, and Yusaku wouldn't know to, like, hide it from Ignis, and even if he did, we've seen that Ignis is fairly clever in the way that he's, like, starting to reprogram Robapi almost, and teach her to have some more independent thought and those types of things, so Ignis could probably get a hold of it. And given how Ignis doesn't have his memories either, what happens if Ignis suddenly realizes, my mission was to destroy all of mankind, or something along those lines? It would be sort of similar to what happened with Shark and Rio and Zexal, where when they suddenly got their Barian memories back, they went and sided with the Barians. So maybe it's something along those lines, and Akira's just trying to protect the information so Ignis doesn't see it and doesn't turn against Yusaku, thus sparking an entire huge conflict. Granted, that's a very big stretch, but Yu-Gi-Oh's done it before, more or less, with the Barians. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but still, the point holds. On to the cast list part of this. I mean, Yusaku and Akira obviously going to be dueling. AI will be within Yusaku's duel disc, most likely. Kusanagi probably just doing his normal thing. Aoi and Emma, as I already stated, I'm curious what they're going to be doing. It might just be like sideline commentary, but I hope there's something there. I mean, like, in terms of dialogue, maybe we see if Yusaku and Akira are taking opposite sides, maybe Emma and Aoi are going to end up taking opposite sides, which would really be interesting given how Emma's almost taken a little bit of like a big sister type of role to Aoi from what I can tell, if her intentions were indeed like genuine for once when she said, hey Aoi, there's a way you can redeem yourself. Granted, it's also possible, given it's Emma, and I mean very possible, that she was just trying to manipulate Aoi, but still. And then Kitamura, who's probably just overseeing the whole thing. I find it also intriguing that I believe in the episode 18 cast list we had AI duelist appear, yet here we don't. So maybe the AI duelist appears and then like Emma or Aoi takes care of it, or it just like we get Kitamura working on it or something like that, and then it's not back here. Either way, I don't think Kitamura's probably doing a lot in this episode. I kind of hope he isn't. I'm more interested in the interactions between the other characters. Granted, to be fair, we haven't gotten a lot of Kitamura yet, so for all I know, he's a great character, and we just haven't seen a lot of it. Anyways, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Where do you guys think all of this is going? Why is Akira doing what he's doing? What are we going to get from Aoi and Ghost Girl? And basically, what side is everybody going to fall on after we find out 10 years ago? Because that seems like it's going to be the defining factor of this show, at least as of right now. With all of that being said, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. If not, constructive criticism is always welcome, and as always, have an excellent day.